on Creek to Coast. Have a look at this. The most amazing flotilla of vessels that you're ever likely to see in one place at one time.
The Miller 70. I haven't seen a hillier 70 around, have you?
G'day and welcome to Creek to Coast. Australia has 8 cruising destinations, Queensland has 4 of them, and this is one of them, the Gold Coast, which is fast becoming a nautical playground for the rich and famous.
That's right, Scotty. The cruising industry is big business, and over the course of the next half hour, you're going to meet not only some of the industry's key players, but also find out a little bit more about one of Australia's fastest growing industries.
What we're specifically talking about are super yachts. We're talking over 24 metres or 80 foot and valued individually in the millions. Over the past 12 months alone, 50 foreign flag vessels visited our shores, injecting more than $150 million into our economy. As an industry, they're working hard to see that figure at least double over the next 5 years.
To really get an understanding of the excitement and importance of this growing industry, we've invited some of the super yacht industry's key players appropriately out on the water on board this magnificent Warren yacht. Welcome aboard, gentlemen.
This is how the super yacht industry does business. Not bad, hey? We're on board an 87-foot or just over 26-metre Warren yacht on the Gold Coast. The perfect setting for a crash course on an industry that I have to admit, Scotty and I know little about.
So as an industry locally, what sort of dollars are you generating currently?
Well, generally, the general conception is that there's $25 million worth of work to come to the Gold Coast. And that's not just in the boat building or the repair industry, that covers everything.
Murray and his company Marine Engineering are part of super yacht-based Gold Coast City, who, along with various government departments, key individuals and a whole array of marine-based companies, are helping to put the southeast corner of Queensland well and truly on the international cruising map.
The super yacht we're on today is privately owned, but the man responsible for the building of this beautiful little 87-footer is David Price, the owner of Warren Yachts. And Dave, the super yacht cruising industry is all about boats like this?
It is. You know, this is our new S87. It's the latest in the collection, so it's our new super yacht.
She was built right here in southeast Queensland at the Warren Shipworks facility, which is based out of Hemet and is the newest and largest state-of-the-art super yacht shipyard in the southern hemisphere. These guys build some of the most beautiful yachts in the world and are capable of super yacht construction up to 300 feet. You're delivering boats all over the world, you're talking to owners, you're talking to skippers from every little part of the globe. Are you finding there's becoming a bit of a push to Australia, Queensland and the southeast?
That's like a magic word. You mention Australia now and people's eyes light up.
Do you think over the last year or two it's becoming more common? It's like, David, what's Australia like? What's Queensland like? Is a trend is starting to build?
Hands down, hands down. I mean, the safety factor, the beauty factor, the dollar factor, all of that combined make this a super yacht cruising ground for the world, a destination for the world.
So no doubt in your mind, this is the place.
We're here, and there's a lot of other people coming.
To be a competitive world-class cruising destination, you need everything from refitting and servicing to yacht construction, equipment and accessories, and marinas to rival the best. Making up a big part of this impressive infrastructure is Gold Coast City Marina, the largest shipyard of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere.
We've been established now for just over 7 years. In that time, we've built ourselves on quality of workmanship and producing some of the best refits that Australia's seen. We've got a fantastic quality workforce there, and with the Australian dollar the way it is at the moment, we're very competitive worldwide.
Once they're here, they're obviously in good hands, but it's how they get here that's pretty impressive. Aurora Global Logistics are an international company that are based here in southeast Queensland, specialising in the transportation of millions of dollars worth of ship.
We create a freeway, and Australia's at the end of the freeway, and this semi-submersible yacht carrier is capable of lifting boats similar to this and larger on a hassle-free service coming both in and out of Australia. So if they come to Australia, they come here, they'll cruise, they'll refit, and then they'll go back on the ship as well.
This is amazing stuff. In a nutshell, this purpose-built semi-submersible ship is first lowered into the water. The yachts are driven on and then secured in place by scuba divers. The ship is then raised and the boats are safely dry docked and ready to set sail to their cruising destination.
Australia is becoming one of the largest exhibitors in those areas, and you can just see it from the sheer volumes coming through on the services that we offer, bringing the super yachts here into Australia and taking them back out. That it's got a huge potential to come.
Jason's company, Aurora Global Logistics, as well as Warren Yachts, Gold Coast City Marina and Super Yacht Base Gold Coast City, are a part of a larger network of companies that travel the world singing the praises of our beautiful cruising waters and our marine industry infrastructure. Ultimately, they're on a mission to lure some very attractive international dollars our way. So, Jason, how do you market a cruising destination to the world?
Well, basically, the effective way to do it is you attend boat shows internationally that are on, like Monaco and Fort Lauderdale, which is the world's largest boat show.
Is that your next one on the calendar?
Yeah, we're about to head off to Fort Lauderdale very shortly.
We're heading off?
These guys and myself, we're all heading off shortly.
Well, it's only fair. If you're all going, we're coming.
Yeah, we're going to Fort Lauderdale, I think. We're
going to America!
The Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, United States of America. It's where the super yacht industry spends its time networking and deal-making.
And we're heading right into the thick of it when we return from the break. Every year in October, Fort Lauderdale hosts the biggest boat show in the world, with over $1.6 billion worth of boats, yachts, super yachts and accessories. And it's spread across an amazing 1 million square metres, which is roughly 20 football stadiums. It is just mind-blowing. This is a Jarrett Bay. She's a Carolina boat made in America.
Have a look at this.
They're not available in Australia yet, but this is what you call a game boat on steroids. Come on.
So, Scooter, 70 feet long, 4,800 horsepower, and it does 50 knots.
We'll have two. One for me, one for me mate Dino. Get the gaff anyway, I'm off. What are of main interest to us, though, are these beauties, super yachts. They're over 80 foot or 24 metres, and they're worth millions. The Bahama Yachting Centre is where the expansive super yacht showcase is located. Aside from row upon row of every gadget and gizmo you can think of, there's hundreds of some of the world's most beautiful boats on display.
They're affectionately known as big white boats, multi-million-dollar extravaganzas built by the world's most esteemed marine architects. And being this close to them, quite frankly, is giving me goosebumps.
Like so many of the boat shows nowadays, the most you get to see of the really big boats is the stern. Well, over here, it's not much different, but we did manage to talk our way on board this little number.
This is Argucia. She's 118 feet or 36 metres, worth $9 million. She's a Millennium 118, owned by an American who likes to spend time in the Bahamas and around the Cayman Islands. Yeah, like you do. Just a couple of her special features. The dining table, it lowers down from the ceiling and it costs $10,500 just to lacquer it. And this TV screen, it's got $1 million worth of diamonds worked into the design. Unbelievable. It's hard to get your head around just how much money is in these boats. This is the master bedroom. It's a definitely don't touch, but they've let Scotty Hillier in here. I'm just going to put my little bot on the bed here. Shh. Oh, actually, I normally like my beds a bit softer anyway.
Overwhelming is the size and sheer number of boats on display. They say that you need 4 days to get around the whole show. Doing business here, though, is an art that our Queensland friends have finely tuned.
Jason, I'm breathless at the sight of this. It's the most amazing display of wealth I think I've ever seen. But how does that convert back into dollars at home?
What you do, you start, the Super Yacht Base hones in on the companies that they think, or the exhibitors here, or manufacturers, or even companies that are for refit or set for refit. They hone in on them, and we target them over the show, over the point of the show, and we try and get them down to Australia.
Isn't it nice to walk down the street over here and hear the Australian slang? There's obviously quite a few Aussies here, a lot of them representative of that southeast Queensland Gold Coast market.
Oh, definitely. I think there's, 50 of us over here for this trip, but also there's hundreds living here that are actually running these boats, and they all want to bring them down home.
Basically, it's not only the aim to get them to cruise in Australia, but prove the fact that we can also offer them the support network they need. These boats, they'll spend somewhere in 10% of the value of their boat. So if you've got an $80 million boat, they're going to spend around $8 million a year just on support services, so fuel, crew costs, marina berthage, and all the refit and repair work they need as well.
Interestingly, we're told that the deal-making doesn't necessarily happen here on the stand. It's all about the parties that are held after dark.
Tonight's function is hosted by Dockwise Yacht Transport. It's invitation only, and the company has its whole international contingency present, including president of the company, Clemens van der Werf.
And from your perspective, I mean, I know there are two destinations, if you like, on the Super Yacht calendar, being the Mediterranean and the Caribbean. How does Australia stand up compared to those markets?
Well, it's a relatively new market, but definitely a market with potential. And the transatlantic market is pretty mature already. You see a lot of traffic going from one side to the other side. But we strongly believe in the Australian South Pacific market, and it will grow. It will definitely grow.
With that tick of approval from a man who knows, we'll take a short break. But when we return, more from the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show.
Everything is bigger over here, see?
I still can't believe I am here in America. And I've had a bit of a look around. I suppose it does remind me plenty of the Gold Coast. Things are based around the water. We've got the Atlantic Ocean just behind me here. You've got the Everglades out to the west, and 23 miles, as they say here, of sandy beaches. Probably the only difference is things here are a lot grander. You've got bigger boats, bigger cars, bigger food, bigger drinks, and throw in one big Scotty Hillier, and I'm saying bring it on.
Scotty's right. Fort Lauderdale is a golden sand and blue water paradise just like the Gold Coast, but on a larger scale. It's no wonder that they're sister cities. It's perfectly set up for an event the magnitude of the boat show and literally takes over the town.
Oh, look at this, Dino. This is what I imagine Scotty Hillier's heaven would be like. Rod after rod. Look at this one, Dino. Look at this one. I should take him back with me.
That is a weapon, isn't it?
Load me up, champion. Load me up. Fish on! Fish on! Gee, he's playing up. Everly's going down, down. Come on.
Row upon row of some of the most beautiful game boats, yachts, cruises, and did I mention the promo girls?
Hey, God, Dino, a new meaning to the word lure.
I don't know whether to say wahoo or woohoo.
Let's go woohoo. See you, girls.
See ya.
Now, you might remember this little baby. It's the Warren Yacht S87. We showed her off on Creek to Coast, brought her over with Dockwise Yacht Transport, and she's here flying the flag for Australia and, most importantly, Southeast Queensland manufactured boats.
How does an Australian boat manufacturer stick its head up above the rest of the pack and say, look at me, to potential customers?
All you have to do is look at this boat and you understand right away. And the buyers do. I mean, some of the buyers that are walking through the boat right now feel the same way.
Yeah.
Plus, who wants to cruise the Med anymore? I mean, why? It's the same thing. How many years in a row can the same guy go to the Med? How many years in a row can he go to the Bahamas? Come to Australia. That's what we tell everybody. And once they come, they don't want to go home.
Continued success with Warren Yachts.
Well, thank you very much.
It's been
much appreciated. Thanks for coming over to the show. It's good to see you guys.
Awesome.
We'll look forward to seeing you at the factory.
I have just lined up a date with the hottest German supermodel. Now, her name is Linda Lou. Even the name sends a bit of a shiver up Scotty Hillier's spine. She's 190 foot long. She's worth $90 million. The only problem is she's a look and no touch sort of a girl, and that doesn't suit Scotty Hillier. But I have arranged a chat with the skipper, Michael. As the captain of such a magnificent vessel, Michael's opinion is not only frequently sought after, but highly regarded when it comes to cruising destinations. A skipper's endorsement is invaluable, which is great for us because Michael here, he's flying the flag well and truly for the Gold Coast.
Well, we were bringing our boat, Pangea, which was a 56-meter expedition boat, down to the South Pacific, and our plan was to stay there for a few years. Well, in conversations with my chief engineer, frustrations of shipyards around the world and people not showing up on time and quality of work being lackluster, he had mentioned, why don't we go to where he's from, the Gold Coast of Australia? So we went there and we did a very large shipyard period, and it was a wonderful experience. I can't say enough about the Australian workers. They show up on time, they care about their work, and we ended up being on time and on budget throughout the shipyard.
The owners often take the advice of their captains in relation to destinations of interest, so impressing these guys is what it's all about.
How's that done? It's called relationship building the Australian way. The biggest party at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show is on the Australian stand, where Aussie amber liquid flows and iconic Aussie tunes blast out.
Roughly 40% of international super yacht crews are Aussies or New Zealanders, so this particular party is like an annual reunion for these guys. So what about life on board for all of these Aussie crew members? Can't be all too bad, especially when home is Miss Rose, a 95-foot or 29-metre high-sleep motor yacht. By the way, she's up for sale if you've got a cool $5 million.
Just in walking around the marina and looking at the super yachts, I mean, everything is immaculate. It must take so many hours of every day to keep stainless clean. Well, what's a normal day like?
With no owners on board, with no guests on board the boat, we work like a normal day. Would be, say, on deck at about 8 o'clock, finishing 4 or 5 in the afternoon, depending on what projects you've got going on. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of polishing, and there's a lot of, you know, like, if you want to say, grunt work, you know.
Well, I reckon I'd be happy to polish and scrub a bit if it meant cruising the world's best destinations on board one of these impressive vessels. But what happens next? What happens when the team returns from Fort Lauderdale? And what's the future got in store for the Gold Coast? We'll take a final look around the boat show before we head home and see what's on the drawing board for this growing industry.
I'm thinking the black leather, and I wouldn't want a big spar up on the deck. So yeah. A bit, not too bad, though.
Hey, look.
Hey, Dino.
Look at the finish on this thing. You can see your face in it.
I know, they're awesome, aren't they?
What are you eating?
Typical American boat show food. Savoury pretzel and a crepe. You?
I've just gone the hot dog, but all the condiments. Sweet relish, mustard. Outstanding.
It is good.
To shake this place at a cannon stake.
The Miller 70. I haven't seen a Hillier 70 around, have you?
Just wait, there'll be one here.
Everybody's talking about waking up.
Where's your boat, Dino?
What
on the
do you mean?
sides, in case you hit anything when you're parking it.
You'll be in a bit of trouble fishing the trebles out of this, though.
They're actually surprisingly really durable. Really good. Ideal for fishing.
Well, they might say 3 days for a tourist to fully appreciate the boat show.
It's madhouse.
But for the workers, it's full on for the entire 5 days of the show.
Have you had some winds in the last couple of days? I mean, are there one or two of these boats that, you know, we've looked at that are now thinking about coming down?
Definitely. The Dockwise guys, I think if you speak to them, their next three boat trips to Australia are full and booked. So we've got a lot of boats coming down there.
So after 5 days of the boat show, numerous parties and an overload of eating hot dogs, pretzels and crepes, it's back home and back to business.
Twice a year, Dockwise transport ships arrive here at Fisherman's Island. They're chock to the gunnels with super and mega yachts, and from here many of these boats will head down to places like Gold Coast City Marina, where they'll undergo refit and maintenance work for about 6 months or so until their skippers and crew arrive to join them.
Dockwise, together with Gold Coast City Marina and Super Yacht Base Gold Coast, are certainly making sure that this corner of the state is leading the way.
At the moment, Gold Coast City Marina can accommodate super yachts up to 190 feet. Last year alone, they serviced $250 million worth of super yachts, but they, along with a number of like-minded people, have a greater vision.
The Gold Coast Broadwater Community and Master Marine Plan. It might be a mouthful to pronounce, but it's possibly one of the most exciting projects ever planned for the Gold Coast.
Super Yacht Base Gold Coast City and the Boating Industry Association of Queensland are right behind the Broadwater Master Plan.
And what is that master plan?
The master plan is to develop a marina that is first class, it will be the best in the Southern Hemisphere to house super yachts, as well as the Broadwater plan in general.
The idea is to appoint a waterways management committee to steer the Broadwater in a long-term positive direction, which includes safety issues, environment and long-term dredging and maintenance.
So, Rhino, the master plan will accommodate super yachts?
Absolutely, the super yachts are an integral part of the development. Not only that, we've got a severe shortage of marina berths in southeast Queensland at the moment. So we're looking to have a premier development constructed, not only for the super yachts, which are going to be a very integral part of our business, but obviously for the boating market in general.
Boat registrations on the Gold Coast are currently in excess of 20,000, and that number is tipped to double over the next 10 years. But more exciting than that is the length of vessels are increasing, with the average size boat now 40% longer than some 10 years ago.
So, Rhino, where is the master plan right now?
It's been put to state government, and obviously we've had a few guys out and worked closely with state government on it to come up with the perfect design.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, but at the end of the day, the industry does need it to grow. Whether it's us or someone else, it's going to be definitely beneficial to the boating industry of southeast Queensland.
I think it's safe to say that the super yacht industry in southeast Queensland, particularly on the Gold Coast, will be one to watch carefully over the coming years.
If you're after any information from today's special, you can get the various contacts from our website. You'll also find a great deal from our friends at Escape Travel, the New York Couple Escape. Price includes your airfares, accommodation, brekkie and transfers. You can go straight to their website at escapetravel.com.au for more information. They're great people to deal with and they will really look after you.
So, Dino, it's been a real interesting trip for me. Someone who knew absolutely nothing about the super yacht industry, to get over to America, check it all out, it's just been awesome.
It's nice to see how much boat $10 million will buy you too, isn't it?
Unbelievable. But it's actually exciting to watch the next 10 to 15 years, watch it evolve here on the Gold Coast. It's going to be great.
Exciting for us as well. Now, what's on next week's show?
You shouldn't have mentioned it. From big boats to big fish. Next week would probably be the best fishing trip I've ever done aboard Nomad Charters. Make sure you don't miss it, but stick around. Up next is Queensland Weekender. Have a great week.
Creek to Coast is brought to you in proud partnership with BCF. We drive vehicles supplied and serviced by the Motorama Group.
When you've had a big day at the show, you need to put your feet up, don't you? Scotty, I'm going to need a bigger boat for my new gaff. Oh, no.